What's up, everyone? Fight Zone MMA. Today we got some crazy MMA news. Let's get right into it. First off, we got Vinicius Oliveira making excuses for his loss against Mario Bautista on Saturday. Vinicius says, "I could have canceled the fight. I broke my arm 51 days ago. There wasn't much I could do, but I decided to move forward. For a good while, we trained with my arm in a cast. It was actually a bit reckless on our part. We kept it under wraps, but I was determined to fight regardless of the injury. A little reckless, kind of a lot reckless. First of all, this doesn't seem to be a faked injury. Brazilian fans were able to intuit that his arm was broken since he wasn't using it in any training footage, and he also had ice on it in between rounds during the fight. That being said, this was a terrible decision for Vinicius and his camp. 50 days out is plenty of time for the UFC to find a replacement fighter, and canceling the fight would have saved the hype to live another day. Instead, you send your fighter out there to get dominated by the 50-year-old Mario Bautista, looking like you haven't fought a day in your life, and lose all your momentum in the division. Also, what are the UFC doctors doing? There's no way they couldn't tell this guy had a broken arm before the fight. The doctors just looked him up and down and said, "Yeah, you're good to go." Next up, we got a list of all male UFC champions, ranked by the time since their last fight. Some of these are shameful to say the least. Joshua Van should have had a fight booked the day after his fluke win against Pantoja. I don't think he even threw a single strike in that fight. A jog in the park would have taken him more effort. Ilia Topuria is another major offender on this list, who's been prioritizing fighting his divorce court trials instead of getting a fight booked against Arman Tsarukyan. Finally, we got Khamzat Chimaev, who despite having less time since his last fight than Ilia, needs to be under the most pressure to fight. He also took no damage in his last fight against Dricus du Plessis, but he hasn't had even a word of fight news since. He's spending all his time calling out Alex Pereira on Twitter without a single title defense at 185. He should be ashamed of himself. Next up, we got Jon Jones giving a statement about his arthritis after he was exposed for ducking Daniel Cormier last week. Jon says, "The kid who leaked that arthritis news was an absolute a-hole. I was talking to some guys in confidence, and he had one of those meta glasses on, and he ended up posting that. That wasn't for everybody to hear, but that's how life works." That's crazy. Regardless of how you feel about Jon Jones' wife beating, drug use, or multiple arrests and felony convictions, the guy with the meta glasses did him dirty. Guys nowadays will do anything for a little clout, including recording a private conversation. Jon says that's how life works, but if I were the guy who recorded him, I'd be moving out of New Mexico the very next day. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today. Like, comment, subscribe, Fight Zone MMA. I'll see you in the next one.